The challenge is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It is the moment when life throws something unexpected, when the ground beneath your feet shakes, and you are forced to decide whether you will stand tall or collapse. A challenge does not come to the weak-hearted, because if you are being tested, it means there is strength inside you waiting to be awakened. Every great leader, every champion, every nation that has ever risen to power has faced challenges that seemed impossible at first, but they discovered that the challenge itself was not meant to break them. It was meant to reveal what they were truly made of. When the world sees a challenge, most people see an obstacle. They see something too big, too heavy, too dangerous. But the truth is, the challenge is the invitation to grow. It is the voice that whispers, "You are stronger than this. Prove it." The greatest mistake you can make when faced with a challenge is to run away, to surrender before the fight even begins. Because when you back down from challenges, you weaken your spirit, and the world will treat you according to the limits you set for yourself. But when you step forward, when you say, "I am ready," even if you are afraid, you earn respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Life will not give you comfort if you want to rise. It will not hand you easy victories. Instead, it will test you. It will pressure you. It will try to break you down. The challenge will demand your discipline, your patience, your courage, and your persistence. Without challenge, there is no growth. Without resistance, there is no strength. Just as steel is forged in fire, your character is forged in challenge. And when the fire is hottest, when the pressure is greatest, that is when you must hold your ground. The challenge is not about the situation, it is about your response. Two people can face the same problem, and one will collapse while the other rises. The difference is not in the challenge itself, but in the belief and attitude of the one facing it. You must understand that every challenge comes with an opportunity hidden inside. The bigger the challenge, the greater the opportunity, the greater the pressure, the stronger the reward. If you keep your eyes only on the difficulty, you will miss the chance. But if you fix your eyes on the possibility, you will transform difficulty into destiny. Every time you conquer a challenge, you become a new version of yourself. You rise higher, you gain confidence, you see your own power. That is why life keeps sending you challenges, not to punish you, but to prepare you for the greater battles, the greater responsibilities, the greater victories that are waiting for you. The truth is, the world does not admire those who had an easy path. The world respects those who stood in the face of storms, who carried the weight of difficulty and still kept moving forward. You cannot wish challenges away. You cannot avoid them forever, but you can face them with strength. You can use them as fuel. You can turn them into stepping stones. When people doubt you, when they laugh at you, when they try to push you down, that is also a challenge. And that is your moment to rise, to fight harder, to show that their doubts are powerless against your determination. The world may try to test you with unfairness, with setbacks, with losses, but the greatest answer you can give is to rise again and again. The challenge demands sacrifice. It demands sleepless nights, painful effort, and relentless focus. It asks you to give up comfort for greatness. Most people will walk away because they are afraid of the price. But the few who accept the challenge, who embrace the fight, are the ones who change the game. They are the ones who rewrite history, who inspire others, who leave a legacy that lasts. So the next time a challenge comes into your life, do not curse it, do not complain about it, welcome it, look at it and say, "This is my chance, this is my moment, this is the fire that will make me unstoppable." Do not wait for the perfect conditions, do not wait for support or applause. Step into the fight, face the challenge. And when you conquer it, you will realize it was never the enemy. It was always your greatest teacher, your greatest motivator, your greatest ally in shaping you into who you were meant to be. The challenge is not the end. It is the beginning of something greater. And when you embrace it, when you refuse to break, you will not just win, you will transform. Silence is one of the most underestimated forces in the world. People often think that silence is weakness, that not speaking means surrender, that staying quiet is a sign of fear. But silence, when chosen with purpose, is more powerful than 1,000 words. It is a weapon of discipline, a shield of patience, and a signal of control. When others scream, argue, and shout to prove themselves, the one who remains silent proves that they do not need noise to establish power. Silence unsettles the arrogant, it confuses the aggressor, and it forces the world to stop and think. When a leader stays silent in the face of provocation, the world leans in closer. The silence itself becomes louder than the challenge. Because silence carries mystery, it leaves everyone wondering what is happening behind those calm eyes, what plans are being formed, what strength is being gathered. That silence is not emptiness, it is calculation, it is strategy, it is patience waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And in that silence lies an energy that can shake the foundations of those who thought they had the upper hand. The reason silence is powerful is because it demands control. It takes courage not to react instantly. It takes strength not to let your emotions run wild. Anyone can scream, anyone can argue, anyone can throw words like weapons, but it takes true mastery to hold back, to remain calm when the fire is burning. That calmness is not weakness, it is the highest form of discipline, because when you are silent, you are not giving your enemy anything to use against you. You are not revealing your hand. You are not exposing your strategy. Silence is the armor that protects your plan until the right time comes to reveal it. The world is always watching how you respond. When someone challenges you, they expect you to react, to lash out, to stumble. But when you remain silent, you break their rhythm. You take control of the stage without even speaking. And suddenly, the focus shifts. Not to what they said, but to why you didn't respond. That is the true genius of silence. It makes your opponent's words echo back on them. It makes their noise look desperate, while your silence looks strong. In life, you will face countless situations where people will try to provoke you, they will insult you, underestimate you, and test your patience. The natural impulse is to fight back with words to prove them wrong immediately. But sometimes silence is the most devastating response you can give, because silence communicates confidence. It says, I don't need to defend myself. My actions will speak for me. Time will prove me right. That is the language of winners, of leaders, of champions. Silence also gives you space to think. In silence, you gather your strength. You listen, you observe, you learn things that others are too loud to notice. Silence allows you to see the bigger picture, to recognize opportunities that hot-headed reactions would blind you to. It is in silence that strategies are born. It is in silence that victories are prepared. Those who cannot handle silence are always chasing quick battles. But those who master silence win the war. Silence is not about doing nothing. It is about doing everything in the shadows until the moment is right to step into the light. It is about conserving your energy, focusing your power, and choosing your strike with precision. Think of the strongest warriors. They do not waste energy shouting. They stand calm. They study their opponent. And when they move, it is decisive. That is the power of silence. In your own life, learn to use silence as a strength. When people doubt you, do not waste energy arguing. Let your results silence them. When life challenges you, do not panic with noise. Face it with calm determination. When your dreams are questioned, do not respond with endless explanations. Show them through action. That silence will echo louder than any speech. The silence that shakes the world is not empty. It is full of meaning, full of strength, full of certainty. It shows that you are not desperate to be heard. You are certain of your place. It shows that you are not rushed. You trust your timing. It shows that you are not shaken. You are rooted deep in purpose. And when silence carries this weight, it becomes more terrifying to the enemy than any threat could ever be. So do not fear silence. Embrace it. Master it. Let it become your weapon. Because when the storm is loud, when the noise of the world is deafening, the one who stays silent commands the most attention. And when that silence finally breaks into action, the world will never forget it. Strategy is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. It is not enough to have strength. It is not enough to have passion. It is not even enough to have courage. Without strategy, all of that becomes wasted energy. Strategy is the blueprint that transforms raw power into victory. It is the invisible hand guiding every move, the silent architect building success step by step. When you look at the greatest victories in history, you will see not just strength, but careful planning, patience, and timing. That is what separates the reckless from the victorious, the ability to think ahead and act with purpose. A challenge without strategy is chaos. You can face a problem with all the energy in the world, but if you rush without a plan, you will collapse. Strategy teaches you to step back, to study the battlefield, to understand your opponent, and to prepare your moves long before the fight begins. It is the art of turning disadvantages into advantages, of turning weaknesses into weapons. Strategy is not about reacting, it is about anticipating. It is about seeing not just the first move, but the next 10 moves. The power of strategy lies in clarity. When you have a strategy, you are not blinded by emotions. You do not make decisions out of fear, anger, or impatience. Instead, every step you take is deliberate. Every choice is aligned with your larger vision. And that clarity gives you confidence. It keeps you calm while others panic. It keeps you focused while others get distracted. Strategy gives you the ability to look at a storm and say, I know exactly how to sail through this. Strategy also teaches you patience. The world today glorifies speed, quick results, instant wins. But the greatest victories are built over time with discipline and precision. A strategist understands that rushing can destroy everything, but waiting for the right moment can change everything. Think of an archer pulling back the bow. The power is not in releasing immediately. It is in waiting, steadying, and letting go only when the target is clear. That is the essence of strategy. In life, strategy means knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to move fast and when to hold back, when to fight directly and when to let the opponent defeat themselves. It means using your energy wisely, protecting your focus, and always keeping the bigger picture in mind. Without strategy, you burn out. With strategy, you conserve your strength for the moments that truly matter. Every great leader, every successful warrior, every true champion lives by strategy. They do not stumble into victory by chance. They prepare for it step by step with discipline and foresight. Strategy requires sacrifice. It means you cannot do everything. You cannot chase every opportunity. You cannot fight every battle. You must choose, you must decide what truly matters, and you must be willing to let go of distractions. That focus is the foundation of all greatness. Strategy is also about adaptability. Even the best plan must face reality, and reality is unpredictable. But a strategist does not collapse when things change. They adjust, they bend without breaking. They use the unexpected as fuel. That flexibility, combined with vision, is what keeps them moving forward when others give up. Strategy is not about controlling everything. It is about being prepared for anything. In your own life, you need strategy for every dream, every goal, every battle. If you want to achieve greatness, you cannot just wish for it. You must plan for it. You must prepare yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. You must know where you are going and how you will get there. Do not waste energy fighting meaningless battles. Choose your fights wisely. Focus on the areas that will bring true growth and transformation. That is how you build unstoppable momentum. When people underestimate you, let your strategy be your weapon. Do not reveal everything. Do not rush to prove yourself. Work in silence, prepare in the shadows, and when the time comes, act with precision. Let the world think you are quiet. Let them think you are passive, and then strike with a force so calculated that it leaves no room for recovery. That is the power of strategy. It allows you to control the game instead of being controlled by it. So remember, this passion without strategy burns out. Strength without strategy breaks down. Courage without strategy gets wasted. But when you combine all of them with strategy, you become unstoppable. Strategy is not just about winning. It is about winning smart, winning with purpose, winning in a way that leaves a legacy. And once you master it, no challenge, no opponent, no obstacle will ever be too big for you. The world is always watching. Every move you make, every response you give, every action you take is being observed by someone, somewhere. You may think you are acting in isolation, but in reality, the eyes of others are on you, sometimes silently, sometimes critically, sometimes with admiration, and sometimes with doubt. This is the truth of leadership, of power, of ambition. You are never invisible. And the way you carry yourself under pressure is the way the world will remember you. When a nation is tested, the world watches not only for the outcome, but for the behavior of its leaders. When an individual is tested, people around them, friends, rivals, strangers, observe closely to see how they will react. In these moments, silence, strategy, and strength are magnified 1,000 times. A single gesture can echo across continents, and a single misstep can create ripples that last for years. The world does not just watch your victory, it watches your journey toward it. It studies your resilience, your patience, your discipline, and your ability to hold your ground when the fire is burning hottest. The world watching can feel like a burden, but it is actually a gift. It is the fire that forces you to perform at your best. Pressure is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. Because when the world is watching, you are given the chance to prove what you are made of. You are given the opportunity to rise above expectations, to surprise doubters, to inspire those who are silently hoping for your success. Pressure sharpens you. It reminds you that what you are doing matters. And when you rise under pressure, your victory inspires countless others who are facing their own hidden battles. The world also watches in silence when you refuse to react. That silence is not weakness. It is power. It confuses those who expect noise. It unsettles those who expect immediate retaliation. It forces people to look deeper, to ask themselves why you are so calm. That calmness becomes its own kind of strength, a signal that you are not shaken, that you are in control, that your confidence runs deeper than any words could express. And in that moment, the world shifts its gaze from the noise of the aggressor to the quiet certainty of the one who refuses to be provoked. The truth is, the world is not only watching your victories, it is watching your failures too. It is watching how you handle setbacks, how you recover from defeat, how you stand after falling. This is why your response matters more than the challenge itself, because when people see you fall and rise again, when they see you endure pain without losing purpose, when they see you remain steady in the storm, they learn from you. They draw strength from your resilience. You become a symbol not because you never faced failure, but because you never allowed failure to define you. The world watching is also a reminder of responsibility. You do not carry only your own name. You carry the hopes, the expectations, and the faith of those who believe in you. Every action becomes bigger than yourself. Every choice you make becomes a message to those who follow. If you surrender, it tells them surrender is acceptable. If you rise, it tells them rising is possible. You are never just fighting for yourself. You are fighting for everyone who looks up to you, everyone who takes courage from your example. This is why composure is so critical. The world may see only the surface, but they feel the energy behind it. If you panic, that panic spreads. If you show doubt, that doubt grows. But if you show confidence, calmness, and determination, the world draws strength from you. Even your silence becomes a statement. Even your smallest gesture becomes a symbol. When the world is watching, you cannot afford to waste energy on petty reactions. You cannot afford to be distracted by insults or shaken by noise. You must stay focused on the larger goal, on the bigger picture, on the legacy you are building. Because in the end, the world will forget the noise of your enemies, but it will never forget the strength of your response. So embrace the eyes that watch you. Do not hide from them. Do not fear them. Let them become the fuel that drives you. Stand taller because the world is watching. Fight harder because the world is watching. Be calmer, wiser, stronger because the world is watching. And when you achieve victory, not just for yourself, but for everyone who believed in you, that victory will echo far beyond your own life. It will inspire generations. It will shake the foundations of doubt. It will prove once and for all that the eyes of the world were not watching in vain, they were witnessing history. The lesson in every great challenge, in every silence that speaks louder than words, in every moment when the world watches with unblinking eyes, is simple but eternal. Strength is not measured by noise but by mastery of self. Life is a constant teacher, and the greatest lessons rarely arrive in comfort. They come in the form of pressure, adversity, provocation, and the temptation to react. They come in the form of moments when everything inside you wants to explode, but wisdom whispers, wait, hold, endure. The lesson is that true power is not about conquering others first, it is about conquering yourself. The lesson teaches you that discipline is greater than impulse. Anyone can react, anyone can shout back, fight back, or lash out when attacked. That does not require strength, it only requires emotion. But to restrain yourself, to control your anger, to stay patient when you are provoked, that requires mastery. It is in that mastery that true greatness is found. The lesson is that silence can be sharper than a sword, patience can be stronger than force, and calmness can win battles that brute strength can never touch. Another lesson is that timing matters more than speed. Too many people believe success belongs to the fastest, to the loudest, to the ones who act without delay. But history shows otherwise. The ones who win are not always the first to move. They are the ones who move at the right time. Strategy without patience collapses. Power without timing is wasted. The lesson is that life rewards those who can wait, who can endure, who can prepare in silence and strike only when the moment is perfect. The lesson is also about perspective. Challenges are not punishments, they are opportunities disguised as storms. When hardship strikes, most people complain, most people curse their fate, most people run. But the lesson of challenge is that growth does not come without pressure. Diamonds are not formed in comfort, they are created under heat and pressure. Steel is not strengthened in calm waters, it is forged in fire. The lesson is that your struggles are not destroying you, they are building you. They are shaping you into someone who can handle far greater victories than you can imagine. The lesson of silence is that you do not need to prove yourself to everyone. You do not need to explain your vision to those who cannot see it. You do not need to fight every battle with words. The greatest proof of your strength will not be in your speeches, but in your results. The lesson is that actions silence doubt more effectively than arguments ever will. When the time comes and your work speaks, the same people who question you will fall silent, not because you defeated them with noise, but because you defeated them with undeniable results. The lesson of the world watching is responsibility. You are not just carrying yourself, you are carrying everyone who looks to you for strength. Every choice you make, every step you take sets an example. That means you must be careful with your actions. Do not waste time on meaningless battles. Do not throw away your energy on those who do not matter. The lesson is that you are accountable to more than yourself. You are accountable to the legacy you are building. There is also a lesson about resilience. The world will test you. It will push you down. It will try to break you. It will challenge your patience and your belief in yourself. But each time you rise, you teach not just yourself, but everyone else that strength is possible. You show that defeat is temporary, that setbacks are only setups for comebacks. The lesson is that you cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And in that response lies your true power. The greatest lesson of all is this: you are not defined by what challenges you, but by how you handle it. You are not remembered for the storms you faced, but for the way you stood tall within them. You are not respected because life was easy for you, but because you carried yourself with dignity when life was hard. That is what the world remembers. That is what inspires others. That is what builds a legacy that cannot be shaken. So never forget the lesson. Challenges are teachers. Silence is strength. Strategy is power. The world is watching, and every moment is an opportunity to show who you truly are. Take the lesson, live it, and let it guide you. Because once you master the lesson, you do not just survive adversity, you transform it into greatness. The call to action is the moment when thought must become movement, when silence must become power in motion, when strategy must break into execution. You can think, you can plan, you can prepare endlessly, but none of it matters if you do not act. The call to action is the line between the dreamers and the doers. It is the fire inside that says, enough waiting, enough doubting, enough standing still. It is time to move. Without action, every lesson remains just a story, every vision remains just an idea, and every opportunity slips away. Action is the bridge that turns everything imagined into everything real. The call to action is not about waiting for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment does not exist. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you will never begin. If you wait for the world to clear the path, you will wait forever. The call to action is about moving forward, even when the path is unclear, even when the fear is loud, even when the outcome is uncertain. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in spite of fear. That is what the call to action demands, that you stop hesitating, stop overthinking, and start moving. The call to action separates those who live with regret from those who live with legacy. Most people will spend their lives waiting for the right time, waiting for permission, waiting for guarantees, but the truth is nothing will ever be guaranteed. The ones who achieve greatness are the ones who step forward anyway. They understand that progress is messy, that mistakes will happen, that setbacks will come, but they also know that action creates momentum, and momentum creates victory. The call to action is about building that momentum, one step, one decision, one bold move at a time. The call to action also requires responsibility. When you act, you declare to the world that you are ready to carry the weight of your choices. You are no longer just an observer, you are a participant. That is why action is powerful. It transforms you. It forces you to rise, to learn, to adapt. Every time you act, you grow. Every time you act, you sharpen your skills. Every time you act, you get closer to the life, the victory, the destiny that is waiting for you. But the call to action is not just about yourself. It is also about those who look up to you, those who draw strength from your courage. When you act, you give others permission to act. When you rise, you give others the courage to rise. Your action creates a chain reaction, inspiring countless others who may never even tell you how much your courage changed them. The call to action is bigger than your personal success. It is about lighting a fire that spreads across others, reminding them that they too can fight, they too can rise, they too can win. The call to action demands that you do not waste time. Life is not endless. Every day you wait, opportunities are passing, moments are slipping, and doors are closing. Tomorrow is not promised. The time is now. The greatest tragedy is not death. It is a life lived without purpose, a life wasted in hesitation. That is why the call to action is urgent. It does not give you the luxury of endless waiting. It commands you to stand up now, to start now, to move now, because greatness will not come to those who sit still. The call to action is also about resilience. When you step forward, you will stumble, you will face resistance, you will encounter failure, you will be tested. But the call is not asking for perfection, it is asking for persistence. It is asking that no matter how many times you fall, you rise again. That no matter how hard the world pushes you back, you push forward harder. That no matter how loud the voices of doubt become, the voice of determination inside you becomes louder. In the end, the call to action is about legacy. It asks you, what will you leave behind? Will you be remembered as someone who only talked, who only dreamed, who only planned? Or will you be remembered as someone who acted, who built, who changed the course of things with courage and conviction? That is the choice. That is the moment. That is the call. So hear it now. Do not ignore it. Do not wait another second. Take the first step. Make the bold move. Speak when it is time to speak. Fight when it is time to fight. And build when it is time to build. The call to action is the most powerful force in your life, because once you answer it, nothing can stop you. Answer the call, and you will not just live, you will lead, you will inspire, you will conquer.